Good afternoon, and thank you to everyone for coming out today. I'd like to start by introducing those of us that are up here. My name is Mitch Mortvet. I'm the Assistant Director with the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation. And to my right is Poweshiek County Sheriff Tom Kriegel, FBI Special Agent Nick Potratz, DCI Special Agent Charge Rick Ron, and DCI Missing Person Information Clearinghouse Manager Medina Romanovich. And I'm going to read a prepared statement. The Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation has formed a task force with the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to investigate the disappearance of Mollie Tibbetts that took place on Wednesday, July 18th, 2018, almost 4 weeks ago. Mollie is a sensitive, respectful young lady. She's an outstanding student who is well liked by her professors and classmates. Her disappearance is completely out of character for her. We have detectives and agents devoted solely to this case who continue to investigate all tips and leads. We are taking this case very seriously, and every avenue of the investigation is being pursued. Investigators are conducting searches, canvassing the local area, and following up on all reported information. While we are reluctant to discuss all the investigative leads and details of this case, as well as the methods, we will utilize every technology and all available resources in this investigation. The response from our community has been overwhelmingly positive as we continue our attempts to locate Mollie. Understandably, this is a stressful time for the community and for those who love her. We ask that you remain patient and vigilant. Once again, we would like to thank all who have bravely come forward to provide information to date. As we continue in our efforts, we are asking for your assistance in identifying possible bystanders or witnesses. As we have said before, we are considering all potential scenarios. It is possible that Mollie came into contact with someone who has caused her harm. This person may not necessarily be a member of our community, but likely has some familiarity with the area. While residents may have developed their own opinions as to what happened to Mollie, we are asking everyone to reflect back on the days prior to her disappearance in hopes of recalling details about any persons or vehicles in the area. Individuals who commit violent crimes often display behavior that is recognized by those with whom they live, work, attend school, or are in otherwise close relationships with. Often, there are individuals who are unknowingly associated with the offender of a crime and may be in a position to observe behavioral changes in that person. They will recognize the change and may even question them about it, but will not relate the change to that person's involvement in a crime. Please contact us if you have noticed one or more of the following changes in a person with whom you are associated since Wednesday, July 18th. Change in normal routine, which might include missing school, work, or routine engagements without plausible explanation. A vehicle unexpectedly taken to a repair shop or sold or disposed of. Unexpected or intensive cleaning of a vehicle, possibly at an unusual time of day or night. Unexplained lack of contact or inability to get in touch with someone you knew the evening of July 18th into the morning of July 19th. Altering physical appearance, growth or removal of facial hair, change in cut or color of their hair. Displays of anxiety, nervousness, stress, or irritability. Unexplained injuries. Changes in consumption of alcohol, drugs, cigarettes. Changes in sleep patterns. Interest in the status of the investigation, including close attention to media coverage or an unwillingness to discuss the investigation. It is often in cases like this that people may have information they do not initially share it for a number of completely understandable reasons. For example, they do not initially feel it was important or assumed Someone else may have already notified law enforcement. We encourage you to provide whatever information you may have. Please do not make your own judgment about importance. Please let us assess the relevance of your tip or information. Furthermore, if you are worried about the circumstances in which you obtained this information, your identity can remain anonymous. Today, we are launching a website to allow the community to further assist in this investigation. We invite you to visit the site, findingmollie.iowa.gov. We hope that the visual aids placed up here today and on the webpage will take you back to Wednesday, July 18th. We hope the locations highlighted will jog your memories and help you to recall important details about that day. Please note that the webpage also allows you to submit anonymous tips and sign up for updates to the site. Finally, we want to thank all of you, our community, the media, the nation, for standing with us as we work to bring Mollie home. At this time, Special Agent in Charge Rick Ron and I will address a few questions.
Rick, have you guys identified Mollie's cell phone, Fitbit, or the armband she was wearing? Are you using them in your investigation?
We're certainly using every technique that is available to try to track down and locate Mollie. I will tell you that we are trying to track the digital footprint of Mollie, and so whatever media devices those might be, we're accessing those as best we can.
Have you gotten anything so far off for any of her devices?
I won't be able to release any of that information, and understand that I won't be able to give you investigative facts, and we will try to keep those close to the vest for the integrity of the investigation, but we'll certainly try to answer as much as I can for you.
Have tech companies been willing to give you Mollie's information or access to her accounts?
I'm sorry, what was the first part?
Have tech companies been willing to give you access to Mollie's accounts?
Well, those that we have done search warrants, certainly that's part of the investigation. It's common with any investigation that we do. And so we will get together search warrants and subpoenas, and they have been honoring those, yes.
This task force that you formed, what are you doing different with that you weren't doing for the 3 weeks previous? I mean, it seems you're already doing probably many of the things that would be a part of that.
Sure, and the task force actually was started and generated at the beginning of the onset of the investigation. I mean, we continue to use as many resources as available, and I will tell you that we've had resources from across the country reach out and be willing to help out, and so we will tap into anybody or any organization that we can to track down Mollie.
We have several locations that are highlighted on the map. Where are those locations coming from? What's the importance of those locations?
Well, those are just locations that were, again, highlighted on the map for help to remind people if they were to tap into those sites and to be able to hopefully generate some ideas or some thoughts. So no specific reason for those certain areas, but we are hoping that people will look at the map again to be able to jog their memory, basically.
There's been a lot of resources pulled into searching the Cheney farm. Did you guys execute a search warrant there, or did he willingly let you on the property?
Again, I won't be able to divulge what we've done on the investigation, who we've spoken with, or where we have gone to conduct searches. I can tell you that we've done a number of searches throughout the county and abroad. I can tell you that those searches included acreages, farms, homes, silos, barns. Anywhere that a lead would take us, that's where we're going to go, and that's what we're going to search.
I mean, at this point, do you believe she's abducted?
At this point, we're identifying it still as a missing person, and so we are hoping to be able to find her soon or bring her back home soon.
So, Rick, you guys have been so tight-lipped. People are saying either you are on the verge of something big, perhaps an arrest, or you've got nothing. What is your message to the public?
Our message is that continue to call in leads. We'll continue to run out those leads, and we will continue to do the best we can to bring back Mollie. Again, I'm not going to let everyone know what we have and what we don't have, but we would welcome as many phone calls and information as they feel relevant.
As far as setting up this website, why do you believe this could be a game changer? This is something you haven't done yet.
Sure, it's just another avenue for people to use, another conduit to be able to provide information to us and the investigative team. And so some people are more techie than others. Some people would prefer to place a phone call, even write letters. We've received letters and postcards. And so this is just one more avenue for people to take, especially in this digital world that we live in.
I think some of the features, just going through them really quick, what can somebody find if they go to this
Again,
website?
we have this map that's interactive that they can pull up and take a look at the map. There's also a link for the tips that they can provide an anonymous tip if they so choose. as well as even, I think, maybe some telephone numbers. And so, again, it's just another conduit for the general public to be able to use to provide us information that will allow us to be able to vet that information. And again, I would emphasize that no matter how minute or minor they might think that information might be, it's important that they provide it to us and allow us to do the vetting process with that.
There's speculation that you guys interviewed Dwayne Cheney because of his background, pleading guilty to stalking and violating restraining orders. Have you interviewed other people with questionable backgrounds? Have you talked to all the sex offenders in this area?
Again, I'm not going to mention who we've spoken with. I mean, you guys can come up with that conclusion if you want to, but I'm not going to release any names or any of the information on the investigation itself. I won't do that.
Is there a chance she's with someone she knows and maybe there's some sort of misunderstanding?
Well, we're looking at all options, all possibilities, and we will continue to do that until we are able to bring back Mollie.
How confident are you in the timeline that you're working with?
We feel very good about the timeline. Again, I won't be able to release that timeline, but we, as like any other investigation, will come up with a timeline. We use that to come to a conclusion of the investigation, and we do have a timeline in place.
Is the public at risk?
We don't feel that the public is at risk per se. I mean, certainly that's something that people are concerned about. We understand that, but if we, as an investigative agency or an investigative team, felt that the public was at risk, we would certainly notify them of that. We would provide that information, and thus far we haven't found the need to do that at this point.
Are tips still coming in as rapidly as they were before?
They are, and I can tell you that the investigative team has received in excess of 1,500 tips, and that continues to climb. I can tell you that as an investigative team, we've conducted over 500 plus interviews in this investigation thus far. I can tell you also that the Crime Stoppers has got the award up to, I think it's $366,414, and that comes from 228 donors. And so certainly this has generated a lot of public interest. A lot of people are concerned, as are we. And we would, again, welcome the phone calls and the information so we can try to find her.
Given how large the
Would allow you to get better tips, though, if you were to release even a little bit to give people a better idea what may have happened, the quality of those tips would be better.
And what was the first part of the question? I'm sorry.
After 3.5 weeks of very little information from the investigative team, don't you think releasing some information would give people a better sense of what may have happened and then therefore increase the quality of tips?
I don't think so, and the reason for that is we want to keep the investigation, protect the integrity of it, and so it is not something that we do with the DCI. We just don't provide the information on the investigation as it is ongoing. And so, again, that's why we emphasize the importance that if they think they know something, certainly provide it to us, and then we'll vet that out, as I mentioned to you before.
How are you dividing resources?
Reward being offered here.
Yes, sir.
Substantial reward. How frustrated are you that it hasn't led to the tips that we need to find out what happened to her?
Well, we feel confident that it will ultimately lead to finding Mollie, and so we haven't lost hope. We continue to strive to bring her back home safely, and so we are not frustrated. We just are diligent and will continue to do so. Yes, sir.
Are you still letting that reward grow? For example, if someone abducted, maybe they're waiting for that reward to continue to grow. Have you considered capping that reward?
No, we're not going to cap anything. We don't think along that lines. We think that if money is generated to help bring her home, then we welcome that.
Rick, can you briefly speak on the history of any human trafficking in this area, getting on and off 80, or any other random abductions in this region in the past?
I don't have any specifics for it, but I can tell you that that's something that we are looking into and keeping an open mind on. And I know that trafficking is something that is discussed on a regular basis, but I don't have any stats for you. I wouldn't be able to provide that.
And you said from the start, Rick, that you guys are confident with the timeline. So that makes people say, well, you feel like you know where she was. So what's the gray area? What is it that you're missing if you're so confident with the timeline?
Well, we can certainly provide or have a timeline, and that's what we use as part of our investigation. So I don't quite know what you're asking, but we feel confident of the timeline itself.
So does that mean you guys were able to trace her steps? Do you feel like you know where she was that day? Is that a part of the timeline?
We feel that's certainly something that we look into. I mean, we, as an investigative team, we will take a look from the early morning hours of that particular day on July 18th up to the evening hours. I mean, we try to get as much information and as much as we can when it comes to these types of investigations.
Has the DCI in Iowa ever had a case like Mollie's before? Have you ever dealt with something similar?
Well, sadly, we have. I mean, we have had missing people before, and so it's something that we deal with. and sadly we'll have to probably deal with in the future. Hope not, but it's a possibility. But certainly we have done these investigations before. And again, I want to emphasize that it's a joint investigation, jointly with the Powder County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, and as I mentioned to you earlier, a number of agencies from across the country have actually reached out and willing to assist and help, which we would greatly appreciate.
How are you dividing resources between the new website and your current tip line? Are you adding more personnel, or is personnel kind of being reassigned?
No, whatever personnel it takes to run out the leads, that's what we're going to use. And so that's what we will continue to do as the investigation continues.
When would it kind of lessen the amount of agents that we have working on this case? When would that kind of decrease, and how much money are we spending working on this case to find Mollie and bring her home?
Well, the money, I don't know. I don't track that. My job is to investigate crime, and so the money's not an issue. We don't care about that. Our issue is trying to track down Mollie.
How is morale among your investigators? How are you keeping folks going?
Oh, our morale is good. I mean, we feel confident, and quite honestly, I appreciate the question, but it's really not about us. It's all about trying to find Mollie, and again, we'll do everything we can to find her. Any other questions?
Can you say how many agents or detectives are working at this point?
I don't have a number for you right now. I know that I have a number of people out there right now running out leads as we speak, and so it's ongoing and continues to require a lot of manpower, and we will continue to dedicate that manpower for bringing Mollie home.
When would you lessen that manpower? What would have to happen?
I don't foresee lessening any manpower at this point in time. We're going to continue to drive forward and whatever it takes. And so certainly there are other things that pop up and require our attention, but that just means we bring other people in and do whatever it takes. Okay? Again, I would emphasize, if you could, to the public to tap into findingmollie.iowa.gov. If you could push that out, that'd be great. We'd appreciate it, and we thank you for your time. Thanks.